Thank you for joining us here. Welcome back to the program. Undersheriff Christopher Darcy joining us once again for Mornings with Metro. Good to see you once again.
Good morning, John. Thanks for having me.
So we are well into the summer now. It is hot outside. Typically, crime goes up this time of year. What should people do in their homes, when they're walking around town, whatever the case may be, to just try and protect themselves, keep themselves safer?
Yeah, obviously, I think sometimes in summer, people often let their guard down. They're out later at night. They're walking around. There's just more activity outside. So just always be aware of your surroundings, right? Try not to walk alone places. Have a buddy, have a person that you're with that help keep you safe.
Are there particular types of crime that Metro sees during the summertime? Burglaries, robberies, things like that?
Well, typically we'll see violent crime increases in the warmer months. Throughout the United States, we'll see that in a variety of cities. So, I mean, we see that as well. We're fortunate, though, right now, our violent crime is down 10%. Really?
Okay. Well, something that unfortunately doesn't seem to be going away, and that is the issue of auto-pedestrian deaths, crashes around the valley. It's an ongoing issue. To try and address this, there have been several programs and initiatives around to deal with this, but nothing seems to change. What should pedestrians and drivers, for that matter, how do they protect themselves? How can we try and get our streets safer walking around?
Well, pedestrian error is really one of those things that we see occur quite frequently. We see people crossing the streets and other than marked crosswalks and at the lights. And in this town, there's a lot of glitter and lights, and drivers do not see you. And you may come from a city or a place in America where the traffic is a lot slower, there's just not as much light, and they walk out, and unfortunately they get struck. That's why we try to conduct enforcement to make sure that people understand to cross at marked crosswalks.
And there's so much, again, there are so many initiatives that have taken place and good faith efforts, it seems like, by organizations in town to try and address this and make drivers aware, make pedestrians aware. When will it get to a point, or is it at a point now that something more out front, something more critical is going on and needs to be done?
Well, I know the legislature changed the law to make it a civil infraction, right? So we no longer stop, arrest, and cite people for jaywalking. So we'll see if that has an impact either way, whether it reduces it or it doesn't, and then we'll address it from there. But I mean, that doesn't change some of the other things that we can cite for. There's other crimes, obviously, and things that we can use to help persuade citizens to make sure that they stay on the sidewalk.
And especially if it's an ongoing issue in the community, a law like that might not change, how wide the roads are and where the crosswalks are, and just the mechanism and the infrastructure that doesn't necessarily lend itself to crossing the street safely.
Yeah, it really is education, it's enforcement, and it's traffic engineering. Yeah. And that's really where our partnerships with the municipalities, right, the city and the county, that can help us when we see accidents in certain intersections. We can make those changes to the engineering aspect of it.
Well, Undersheriff Christopher Darcy, we do thank you for joining us this morning. If you at home have a question for Metro Police, we'd love to ask them. Just submit their questions on our website, 8newsnow.com. You'll find out if it's answered every Wednesday morning.